everyone. Lee may or may not be with us tonight. He was still on his ride home when I spoke with him. So been getting brutalized by the heat and temperatures and everything out there. So he said he may not be on tonight, but he may jump in the chat. So we're up in the air on that. And we'll just keep it going. Last week, I went to the mountains with my daughter and grandson and son-in-law and wife. And the heat here was just, 105, 106. And our AC will not keep up. I mean, when it's 105 outside, it's 85, 86 inside. So give the baby some relief. Went up to the resort up there and had a few relaxing days. So I hope everybody's been doing good. I talked to Brian the other day. So I made a post. I gave in what people were saying on the chat here and said, Bob, you need outyards. You got to get outyards. So I made a post in our local community group here, and surprisingly enough, there was probably 30 people or more that came back saying, we would love to host your bees over here. So I've got one that I've went and seen. They've got a pond on the property next to it. It's in a field. I've got access anytime I want. Within reason. Obviously not going to go out there at night without telling the people, but so I've got I'm going to put 20 colonies over in this outyard that's about 8 minutes away from me drive. And hopefully that does one thing that I really wanted to help me with this time of year is my success overwintering. I'm hoping that moving the bees now with the fall forage that we're going to get, the goldenrod and whatnot, that moving that will enable them to store more and, make it over the, make it over the winter and, assist with that, because I seem to only be able to get max like 20 to 23 colonies through the winter here. Doesn't matter how many I have, that seems to be the number. So, but, I'm not a big fan of having to drive to go work my bees, but, if it makes a difference, and hopefully next spring when things start kicking off, that it will, maybe increase my honey production as well, because there will be a different forage for them, and they won't be competing with as many bees here. So that's what I've got going on right now. Nothing drastic. So I've been working towards that this week so far. Yesterday was a bit hot, so I didn't really go out and work bees yesterday. But today, I went out and started pulling boxes, making sure the excluders were out, dropping, shaking them down, right? Taking mediums off, putting deeps on that are drawn to hopefully stimulate them to store in those deeps whatever they can. And also, maybe the queen will come up and lay a bit more, is the hope. So we'll see how it goes. Just trying to move. So I'm looking for one more outyard probably, and I'll probably keep 20 here, 20 in this other yard, and maybe 20 at another yard. And then I've got 3 apiaries with 20, and then we'll go from there. Probably keep nukes here because, you have to add boxes quicker. You have to give them bigger boxes and stuff like that. So that's the goal right now, to get 20 colonies moved out there and 20 to the other one, just to split them up. I do like the fact that it's a field, right? So it's not a huge field, but it's got trees around two sides, and then goats and chickens on one side, and they don't use that front piece. So the people actually drove to my house to talk to me, and then I followed them to their place so I could see the property, and it looks pretty good. I can definitely face the hives to the south. They'll get direct sunlight and still have a windbreak from trees and stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. So far, hive beetles are kept at a minimum, except for a couple of colonies that are back on that side row that are near the tree line. And those are the ones that I'll be moving to the other apiary to put them in direct sunlight. So we'll see. And I'll try to take you guys along and get my GoPro all charged up and ready to go, and see how we can make that happen. But since I am flying solo tonight, I will go ahead and drop the StreamYard link and get that pinned up here. And anybody that wants to join, please come in and join, and keep this thing rocking and rolling. I think Todd will join me here within the next 30 minutes, and Charlie is doing a few things, but he'll probably jump in. Brad has a meeting tonight, so I don't know at what time he'll be available or if he'll make it this evening or not. So I probably pulled, now boxes and spinnable frames are different things in my world at this point, but I probably pulled another 70 frames, but not all drawn and filled all the way. Tomorrow I'll go finish off the rest of them, weather permitting, and that way everything will be in one box or two boxes. And we're gonna try to get them moved out as soon as I can. Haven't really moved bees other than nukes, so it's going to be a challenge for me to, I got to go buy some straps and strap them together and put them in the back of the truck and seal them off and haul them out there, and then open them back up and let them do their thing, right? So that's everything I've been working on in my world in the last few days. I've got the honey out on the porch that needs to be spun out, and I need to do that probably, well, if I didn't do it today, I got to do it tomorrow. And there is Brad. I thought he had his meeting tonight, so I was going to miss him. Hey, Brad.
I do. It's at 7:30.
Well, happy late Canada Day.
Thank you.
And things going good for you?
Oh, I don't know. I'm so exhausted. I'm so tired.
That seems to be the moral of the story for everyone.
Toy today.
Got some new headphones for your computer or hearing protection for the wood shop?
Well, it's hearing protection, but it's Bluetooth, so I can listen to stuff.
You can listen to videos and whatnot while you're.
Well, and that's part of the thing in the winter. I do watch a lot of videos and listen to things, but I can't do any of that when I'm running the saw and stuff. I can't hear it, so this will help me. Plus, I'm on the lawnmower. I can listen to things.
Right.
So
well,
anyway.
So I pulled some more boxes today, just getting them ready for the winter, our winter, whatever that is, which is usually not much, but need to get these bees moved out to this out yard, and then out of all the other people, select another out yard or two, depending on And it was you and it was Brian that from Flower Street that really kind of set me on the path of this out yard deal with, well, when you get to somebody's house and they're like, well, can we start small with like one or two? The answer is no, right? I mean, and the reason the answer is no, because every time I go out there, I've got to burn gas and it's costing me money and time, right? So,
yeah. Yeah, if you got 2 there, it's just about the same pain in the ass as 30.
Yeah. So you might as well. And I just tell them, I said, well, honestly, that the reason I need places is because I've got too many bees where I'm at. So moving them over here, it has to make sense to be able to drive and work as many colonies as I can before having to move somewhere else and look somewhere else, right? So, but the sheer number of people that were willing to put bees on their properties with no strings attached. Well, there is kind of a string. These people want to keep bees, but they don't know how. So it's going to be kind of a tutor while I'm out there type of thing. Which, I'm not opposed to that, until they start seeing how much money it is and they have to buy stuff, and either they will or they won't start doing it, right? But in the meanwhile, my bees are there and have fields to forage with goldenrod and other trees and bushes, and they still had blooms on their trees out there. So that's it's a good time. So we'll see. I'm just in the process, and hopefully, and I need to reach out to him, explain to him kind of what's going on. Not that I have to, but it's a process, right? So I can't just like carry out double deeps and 3 supers on there, right? I got to pull the supers off and get them ready for winter and shake them down and make it easier to move. So it'll make a little bit more sense. But today it was
ready for takeoff.
Yeah.
I want to see. Just hang on a second.
Is it working? I can't hear you. No sound. But
thing. So I was trying to make them longer, and it doesn't. Like sometimes it'll adjust in here, but it doesn't. This one adjusts in here.
Oh, okay.
See this? You push it down like that, and make it longer like that. So it's different than I was expecting. So anyway,
they look pretty nice.
Yeah, well, $100, eh? But all the woodworking forums that I'm on, the guys who just rave about those. It was 3M products. It was a high quality product. But yeah, so anyway,
with the temperatures, I'm having a little trouble getting my creamed honey creamed. Yeah. It is doing it. It's just taking longer.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. It's been in there for a minute. I could probably pull some out and start mixing some flavors and move them over to the cooler. But I kind of wanted to see how long the process would actually take. And interestingly enough, people that have bought creamed honey from me are starting to come and only buy creamed honey from me, which is a new experience. When they're coming over and out of their mouth, the first thing is, I want a strawberry and a lemon. And
so they're buying flavored honey from you.
They're flavored creamed honeys. Yes.
Well, and I think that's important too, because not all flavored honeys are creamed, and so it'll be interesting to know if it's the fact that it's flavored honey or if it's the fact that it's creamed honey. Like, what are they kind of going after? So you have unflavored creamed honey. How's that selling?
But I don't push it. I haven't really. It's not even part of my sample tasting pack, right?
Yeah.
So I probably need to do some more of that so I can let them taste it, so they can experience that, right? Pretty much it's, here, taste my flavors, and then
I know you get on my case for making that distinction, but I think it's I think it's important, because that's what you're doing.
Well, hey, Morgan.
Hello.
So yeah, it's important to know what your customers are buying. And um I haven't pushed just plain creamed honey. I have some, I just haven't really marketed that like that. And pretty much they're buying flavored spreads, right? And so far so good, right? One lady was like, "Oh, my mother tasted this when she came down, and she wanted to take some back with her, so I came over and bought it." So, but when they come, I'm like, "Hey, I got this flavor, I got this flavor, I'm trying this, and different things like that." So it's good. And then I had someone that bought honey from me last year that came to buy 2 more pints today.
Gotta go.
Oh, yep.
I might be back.
All right. Fred's got his meeting tonight.
How you doing, Bob?
Tired, man. Same, hot and tired like everybody. And I don't know what you caught at the beginning, but I was out pulling off boxes today and just getting the bees ready so I can move 20 colonies over to somebody's property 8 minutes away from me. And so starting to put some outyards out there, and hope, the amount of people that said, please bring your bees here is pretty amazing when I made that post. So it was interesting. I mean, I posted it up in the same group that I post, "Hey, I'm out here selling honey to," right? And I was like, "Hey, I'm looking for people that would like to host some beehives on their property." And people are like, "I got 39 acres over here, I've got 16 acres over here." And one couple came over and said, "Hey, we're 8 minutes from here, we want to learn how to beekeep, and I think it'd be good if we could watch you do it and then kind of learn as we're going." So basically, in return for putting bees on their property, I end up being a mentor for them to learn how to beekeep. So, which usually turns into selling them a couple nukes or something like that to get started, right? And they said, "We don't even use this field over here, so have at it," And it's close to a pond and farmers' fields where a lot of goldenrod and stuff grow. So, should be a pretty good setup over there.
Yeah, should help you expand too a little bit, because then give you more room to do things.
Well, it will. I'm hoping, because of the amount of honey that I've been pulling, that it's only been as low as it is because it's super saturated with my beehives, right?
Right.
So moving some of them should alleviate the stress off of them here, give them their own forage area down the road, and let them go. So.
Yeah.
We gotta get that going. Also, it's come to my realization that I'm gonna have to probably enter the job force again. So I'm kind of keeping my ears to the ground on that.
I'm looking to get
want to, but what you want to do and what you have to do are sometimes two different things, right?
Yeah, I'm looking for a way to get out of it.
Yeah, well, me too. But it's just one of those things that it's probably not time yet. Definitely didn't have the honey this year that would facilitate not doing that. And with the heat, I haven't even been out really selling honey. So
common denominator a lot, because I know I talked to Tom and he said he just has not got the honey this year that he had been getting. Speaking of the devil, there he is.
Hey, Tom.
Good morning, Bob.
How you doing?
Good, busy but good. And I'm retiring at the end of the year. Woohoo!
Well, you got me by a couple years. You can actually legally retire, right?
Yeah, I mean, I started working at 13 years old, so 50 years.
Yeah, I started doing my own thing probably around that time, pushing the mower down the road and mowing people's grass and all of that. And then the day after my 16th birthday, when the state said I could work, then I started a job then.
Well, In 1974, 3 houses up from my parents' house was a lawyer, and I would do all his yard work. And he had 2 massive oak trees, so I always raked leaves and branches. But he paid me $3.50 an hour.
In
Back
74?
then,
That was good in 74. That was huge.
yeah, minimum wage was 98 cents.
Yeah.
You was making factory wages.
Where
I was
you started
working.
your own union and everything.
I kept asking, got any more jobs? Got any more jobs?
I did 550 some miles today to go up to Detroit, get truck loaded, and drive back down to Indianapolis.
It's a lot of miles. A lot of miles. I couldn't do it.
I'm beat.
I could not do it. But yeah, so I pulled some more honey today. I got to pull the rest of it tomorrow, weather permitting, and then that'll be it for honey this year. I'm going to try to go back to what I did year before last, which I would let them keep the fall honey. But in the spring, when it was time to give her room in the brood box, I would pull that honey and drop frames in, right, and then let them do their magic then, and it worked pretty well. I just need to get those bees off of that side over there. It used to be Nucleus Road, now it's just Sanford and Sons apiary over there, where there's hive stands and beehives everywhere. So right now I've got to move 20, and Sam said, well, come get the trailer and you can move them on the trailer. I just got to go get some ratchet straps to strap the migratory cover and the bottom all together right with it, and load them up and move them out there.
And a way to lift them, because they're probably going to be heavy.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're probably going to be, 100 pounds almost, probably.
And how many of them are you moving?
20 out to that apiary. So I got
1,000 pounds.
I gotta set up some hive stands. I probably won't take them all in one trip, right? I'll probably do 10 or so, or go out there ahead of time, set the stands up, then just drive back, get some hives and move them out.
Right.
And show them some progress out there. But there's Phantom Bread is back. He's laughing.
Still is. I just finished pulling 58 honey boxes off my hives. Took me 4 days. I got 12 processed so far.
Was your second part of it any more productive than the first part?
Yeah, the first part was all my top boxes that I was just hoping to get filled out or any honey in it. I got 3.5 buckets out of 12 medium supers on the very
sounds
top.
like me. So like you might get 3 or 4 frames that are actually have honey in them. The rest are just either empty comb or something. So I'm just pulling those off.
So I'm gonna duck out.
Right.
My other meeting. Sorry, I'm gonna duck out now. I got my other meeting.
There you go.
And so you guys have fun tonight.
All right. Have a good one. Bye. But so it's kind of hard when a lot of people say, well, I pulled 37 supers off. Yeah, I could pull 37 supers too, but that doesn't mean I'm pulling 37 full supers of honey. I think I'm going to get anywhere from 10 to 12 buckets of honey, where last year I got 16 buckets with probably 5 less hives. I actually, let me see if I can pull it up. Somewhere. Where is it? There it is. See if I can pull it up here. And pull you guys.
I probably have about 15 deep frames to pull from my monster horizontal hive, but they were all swarms that I caught back in the end of April, and they're mostly basswood, and it's not capped yet. It's still pretty wet honey, so I'll probably pull them in a month or so.
I am
see if it's basswood honey.
So last year I actually did 7 honey pulls all the way up until August. I was pulling honey. And I pulled a total last year in my own yard, 596 pounds. And then I extracted somebody's honey and taxed them, right? What was left in the table after the cappings dripped and, you know, a little
Right.
was like, how much was it? 2.5 gallons. So half a bucket that I got from them. So total 626 pounds last year. So
That's
far
good.
this year from just my 3 pulls that I've made, I haven't, of course, haven't counted what I've got out there right now, 708 pounds. So I've actually surpassed last year's by over 100 pounds, which is still not great, right? It's not, you know, like Keith Spillman numbers, right? Or 1,000 pounds plus or something like that. It's just, and I'm hoping the solution is the outyards, right? So we'll see. There's Joseph.
Well, I still have my out yard with just 3 hives. I got to pull that honey still, but there's not a whole lot there. I did a double 3-way split on them not too long ago. But I talked to all the old timers around here, and they said this is one of the worst years they've had in a long, long time.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Everything started off early with a mild season, then it just like somebody lit the fire and it just burned everything out and dried everything up, and you know, very little rain.
Well,
And,
see, we got just the opposite. It rained every 3rd day. So as soon as the plants got all the water off of them, start putting out the nectar, it rained again. And we went through 3 weeks, the whole, basically, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th week of April was that way. Only the 1st week was good. And on my big hives, I got decent honey off of them, but all my hives that were smaller, all my carnies that were just building up, didn't get much honey because they weren't big at the end of March when
right.
they needed to be big.
Well, some of my nukes, I mean, those queens that I got from Jose didn't even get here till May 21st. So they've only a month and a half is all they've been building it, and during a dearth. So it's like real difficult for them to get going anywhere, right? So one of my queens, I think I told last time we were live, I did a mite wash and accidentally caught her in there. So I took one of those Jose Queen nukes and put them in right in the middle of the top box, and I didn't put a queen excluder or anything. Just put her in there with her bees. Just dropped the whole nuke in there, and she's doing fine now. So, and then I've got another one. Well, that one was not the wash colony. I'm sorry. That was one that just went queenless for whatever reason. And then the nuke colony, when I checked it yesterday, Saturday, had 4 capped queen cells in there. So maybe she gets mated, maybe she don't. I'm not seeing a ton of drones, but I am seeing a few. And we'll see how they go. Joseph, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Trying to stay cool.
It's impossible down here, man. My heat pump cannot keep up to the temperature.
Huh.
I mean, if it's 105 outside, it's 85 inside. Now, if you stand outside for a few minutes and then come in, it feels cool. But then you stay in here for a few minutes and it feels hot again.
Yeah.
So
I think the feeling like here is like 102 right now.
it was actually cooler today. So that's why I got out there a little bit. But I still sweat through in no time, you know. But how was your honey this year? I know y'all had problems with the tallow, right?
Yeah, I didn't get a whole lot of tallow. I guess I got a little bit, but it got washed away. Everything I'm pulling now is like second pulls.
Right.
And right now we're up to like 1,100 pounds, maybe a little over that.
Blew me out the water.
But
You're not going to blow me out of the water.
still
I
got
might
my
be-
main yard to do.
I might could get some more if I went through those top boxes and pulled all the honey they've got in their top deep, but kind of trying to let them roll with that for a little bit.
Yeah.
When
So-
y'all-
We just been pulling the third box on them right now.
Well, it sounds like you had a decent year. How's that compared to most of your other years?
It's not that bad, really. Considering the tallow happened, what happened with the tallow. But I'm guessing we got a little of it. I've already said it before, but the tallow was just coming in when I went on vacation, and while I was gone, the rain knocked it out.
Right.
But there was some coming in,
Yeah.
but we just didn't get what we were supposed to. But well, I can't say we didn't get what we were supposed to, but
Right.
we got what we got.
That's
But
kind of how it is, right? You just get what you get.
yeah,
And sometimes your customers don't understand how it works. And, they're like, well, hey, I bought honey from you last year. Well, you better buy it right now because it may not last till the time you want to spread it out to.
that's right.
I got a
So,
passion.
But I guess if that tallow had come in like we had planned on it being, there wouldn't be no way for me to keep up with it. They just wouldn't.
well, I always say that nature has a way of evening itself out, right? It averages out
Yeah.
somehow. Even if the temperature goes crazy and the rain goes crazy, it still somehow makes an average there. And things still bloom. They just may not bloom as long. So
Or we don't think they'll bloom before or after we think.
mhm. I know when I was even pulling boxes off that were too light for me to even look to see if there was anything in the spin, boy, my bees went crazy today out in the yard. I started stacking up those empty boxes, and there must have been a little bit of nectar in there because they started going absolutely insane on it.
That's like, I had that. I don't know if you saw the video of the solar wax melter I'm trying to see about working. So I was out there and I put just a regular because I haven't had a chance to go get a piece of plexiglass since then yet to put on it. But I put just a top over it to kind of seal it. Well, the cappings were kind of mounded up in there because they were still wet a little bit, or a lot, I guess. So it held it up a little bit. I went out there next day and there's all kind of bees inside of it.
Oh yeah.
I just took it over and set it down and let it sit. Man, by the time I went up back there, it went for me. I'm like, it probably dropped that much in height of the cappings that were in it. So it's ready now. I just got to get time to go get a piece of plexiglass to put it out. And when, like days like today, that we're going 550 miles up to Detroit and back, and taking time to get loaded is not lending to having time to get stuff.
That's my solar wax melter. I love that thing. Couple hundred. Well, when I bought it, it was a couple $100. I don't know what it is now over at Better Be, but that thing works pretty well.
Well, like I said, I'm gonna try that. It's just I had the tote and I got it on sale for like $9 at Rural King. That metal funnel was like $15. It has a screen already in it, a real fine screen. And then I took a old 5-gallon bucket and cut it to make it to where I could set it. I got like one of those rubber dog dishes from Tractor Supply, fit in there, and then I put the funnel down in there, and it'll melt down into that dish.
Well, it looked like the video I saw looked like it was doing pretty good.
So
it doesn't take much to get that wax to melt, especially when it's hot out and the sun.
How when it's already 100 degrees.
I take a frame out of a box and set it on another box. And by the time I come back, you can't even tell there was wax on it because it's melted so quick. Especially those black plastic frames; those things really melted quick.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's how I do my wax coatings. I just rub it on now. I don't even melt the wax. Then I just wait for a sunny day and I put the frames out, and it melts them for me.
Yeah,
10 minutes each side. I'm hoping for a fall flow this year and pick up a few more boxes of honey. because my customers I have right now, I need about 1,000 pounds, and I think I'm going to end up with 600 or 700 pounds.
You end up like me. And how many colonies was that from? I mean,
25. Yeah, so I'm not doing very good.
well, that's about what I started the year with, right? 23. So I added some, and some of those other ones made a little bit, but I just think that there's too much competition. I need to trim down the number I have here.
Yeah, I'm going to move. I think I got the same issue. I'm going to move about 5 hives over to my second apiary, second lot yard. And I got it set. I got a guy that wants me, that's another 5 miles out farther, wants me to put bees in his place. He's got 10 acres, so he said there's plenty of room.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised the number of people that responded they wanted bees out on their place. It's just, I really wasn't expecting anybody to comment, but I mean, it turned out to be a bunch of people. And there, out of all the people that responded, only one said, well, what's in it for us? Do we get honey out of it? Right. And that's probably one, just because they asked, is probably not one that I would even go out there, because they're already looking. They're already looking, right? I'll give them honey for letting me put it there, but I don't want to commit, well, you're going to get this much honey, because I don't even know if it's going to make honey out there where they're at.
Well,
right? I don't even know if they're going to live.
Not only that, but a lot of places, these people, they make a living taking their bees out and being paid to take their bees to people's places and have them pollinate, so I mean.
So how many out yards do you have, Joseph?
Oh, I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and most of them are small. They usually have like anywhere from 3 to 5 colonies in them. I try to go with at least 4 and 5. And it's just mainly overflow from my main yard. That's what I try to do with it. And I've never had any of the people, the landowners, ask me for free honey. They always want to buy it from me, but I usually end up giving them some.
Right. For allowing them to keep your bees there.
Yeah.
And that's
one of the guys actually called me and asked me if I would put bees over there, and if he had to pay me, he would even do it. I said, no, I'll bring some over there. He just wanted some for his garden,
Right.
I said, yeah, I'll bring them.
I had one lady said she had like 50,000 zinnias or something. I don't, what the hell kind of flower she was talking about. Let me see.
Zinnia.
Flowers.
I think by next year I'm going to have 20 hives at my house. I can do 5 hives at my second yard. The stand's big enough for 5 hives, maybe 6. And then on the third location, I'm going to take them up on it. And I'm going to try to get maybe 15 on that production hives on that stand, or maybe 12 and then 3 resource hives out there. Something like that. I'll be retired, so I have a little bit more time next year.
If
I've had time. I just hadn't had the want to.
I'd like
Well, that's
to
another
get
thing.
20 hives and stay there.
Just get to 20 and stay right at 20 and
20 production hives, and then a few nukes and little utility hives along the way.
Yeah, maybe I'll just do the 20 at my place and the 5 in my second place.
well,
25 hives plus resource hives.
that's the thing is I told a guy today, he came and bought some markers from me, and he said, I think he said he was up to 25 or something right now. I said, well, that's the problem, right? He said he's out of boxes. I said, well, that's the problem, is that if you're trying to make a living or make a profit, you have to find what your cap is or your goal on the number of colonies you want, because otherwise you keep buying equipment and buying equipment and buying equipment just to expand. So you're using it, all your profit and turning it right back into boxes. So you're not really bringing any money in because you just keep respending it.
Yeah.
You know,
turning everything into tax deductions and no return.
Yeah, that's it.
Anybody having ant problems this year?
I'm not.
Brian says with retirement, I'll be up to 100. It's going to be, no, I'm not. I'm not a young pup anymore. Pulling those 58 boxes by myself was a chore.
That's the same. I mean, right now I've got those boxes in the honey house, and I'm like, man, I feel like I'm slacking on the job because the last pull I did, I let them wait till the next day. So I'm letting them wait till the next day again. But I don't like to do that because I know I saw one box that I pulled off had hive beetles in it, and it could be just trashed by the time I go out there, you know. So I just don't wait, and I can only do so much by myself to be able to extract it all in the same day. So
I don't have to worry about that too much.
they're trying to auction off my shirt. This shirt was from their final tour, their farewell tour in 1997. I believe that's what or something in the back. It says farewell tour 2000. I'm sorry. It's only 23 years old, but it totally wasn't their final tour because I saw them 2 more times myself after this tour. So they I guess like the money coming in too much. Hey Todd.
That was the first farewell.
First farewell, yep.
That was they were warming up for the farewell.
So Kim says she's been seeing earwigs in her hives. Let me see. I really haven't had any issues. As far as hive beetles, this year has been the least hive beetles I've seen in a while. And the one that had hive beetles in it today was actually the ground zero hive. So I dropped a couple more Appy tablets on it and pulled the supers off and condensed down the bees. So hopefully that keeps them going.
Well, I was asking about the ants because I had a problem with ants, but they were on my bird feeders and stuff. So
Todd was having ant issues earlier. I don't know if he still is.
Yeah.
It's cook night because we're in his kitchen.
Yep.
Well, I took a pencil holder box or something of that nature. I drilled some small holes around the side of it, just big enough for ants to get in, but not bees. Then I put a little bit of honey in the bottom of it. They were left over from doing stuff where it was just on the edges of stuff. Well, the ants get in, they get stuck in the honey and they can't get out.
I haven't had any issues with ants. I have more issues with termites when I set woodenware on the ground and leave it there.
Yeah.
They'll chew the heck out of my boxes. So
I use those ant traps and everything's dandy.
The ones for the legs of your.
Yeah, you get them on eBay. Ant trap. Excuse me, ant trap / pet food or pet food something. I don't know. It's something like that. But
Nobody noticed that I'm on the stream tonight.
Yeah.
No live. I usually play golf on Tuesdays,
yeah.
but we had a bye week. I get to join you guys.
Good. So how do you figure about how much flavoring? I bought I found some peanut butter, the PB2 peanut butter powder at the commissary.
I do it by my taste buds.
Okay.
When it tastes good to me, I figure it's good enough.
Now, do you put it in first, or do you put it in after you get it creamed and then put it in?
No, I cream it. And then I flavor it and then I jar it, and then I refrigerate it.
About the same way, Bob.
Well, here's the thing. Every time you make it, your honey has different moisture content in it, right? It's gonna taste, the honey's gonna taste different from batch to batch.
Right.
So you might have to put more flavoring or less flavoring. It's just based on that. So I just do it by taste. So my batches might taste different from batch to batch. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Tell people about the honey. I said, if you like what you got now, get another one, because next time I pull honey, it probably not going to taste the same.
That's it. They usually don't. But I mean, I haven't even been outside. I went outside one time a couple of weeks ago on a Saturday, but it was so hot. I lasted about 2 hours, and I was inside, loaded it all back up, put it all back inside. It was, I mean, just too hot. So I just didn't sit out there. And then we went to the mountains again, where it was cooler. We searched out cooler weather, and it was about 20 degrees cooler in Cherokee than it was here. So that's where we went. And I thought about Joseph saying how he loves it up in there. We even went up to Gatlinburg too.
Shut up.
It's only, Gatlinburg is 35 miles from Cherokee.
Yeah.
But it's an hour drive because it's all like this through the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of them too.
Yep. And I mean, but it was we had fun, had a good time.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to get this stuff anchored down, man. Getting it ready, and I've been putting out, even in the dearth, I've been putting out one tote, black tote of open feed about once a week for all the colonies, and just so they don't die from not having anything in the colony, keep them going a little bit until the goldenrod starts up. There's Jeremy. Every 5-gallon bucket tastes different. That's absolutely right.
Right.
It's been a pretty good year. Not as good as I hoped, but that's pretty much every year. I think we always want more than we get. Can't see anything.
You see it.
All right. So on eBay, it's beehive/pet food ant barrier, set of 4, $12.50. They work great for ants. You have an ant problem. You have a little reservoir that'll hold maybe a quarter cup of oil. I put used motor oil in there because they will not, anything petroleum based, they stay away. So that's what I use, and it instantly gets rid of them. I've lost 14 hives this year because of ants. They ran 14 colonies out.
Wow.
So
that's insane.
well, it was my fault. It was completely beekeeper error, because when I moved them, I thought, I'm going to get fancy and just get under the pallets and squirt peppermint oil on there. They won't cross that either. Wrong. That didn't work. So I had to go back and jack up the pallets and slide the things under there. So anyway, if anybody's having ant problems, that's what you use, or at least you could use. They work great.
Our ground's too rocky and too hard for a lot of ants.
I think there's more ants on this farm than there are people on this planet. I mean, there's trillions of ants.
Wow.
It's bad. It's really bad. So, but I've been using these traps basically for 7 years and haven't had a problem with them until I goofed up and didn't put them back under after I moved the pallets. So if anybody's tried everything and haven't tried that, give it a try, because I think you'll be surprised.
Jeremy, you made 180 gallons off of 30 colonies? That's pretty good.
Not too bad.
That's real good, I would think. What is that? 100 and 180 gallons. 180 times 12. 2,160 pounds divided by 30 colonies. That's 72 pounds a colony.
That's not bad.
That's pretty good.
That's a
pretty good.
huge average.
That's
After.
I'm lucky to average 50 pounds a colony. Seems like
I'm gonna have to jump off here and get something more because I've been sitting in that truck all day. I need to find somewhere I can kick back and be in a different position than sit.
all right, Morgan. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
I'll take care. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
See ya.
Shane says he doesn't use anything for pests except for mites.
I'm going to average about 25 to 30 pounds.
Let me see. I'm trying to see. I don't see Carl. Oh, there he is. 2 rats.
I guess
Last
I've been
year I was 80.
fortunate with ants.
I don't have
80
any
pounds.
problems either.
I have ant beds in my yard, bee yard, you know. I got to watch out for stepping in them. But I never really had a big problem with them in the hives.
Me neither.
I hope it don't start either.
Let me see.
I do know one thing. I'm going to switch over to Caucasian queens across my yard because I had a couple hives that are that way, and they had the most honey because they got the longest tongue.
Which
And
one?
they were finding honey somewhere that all the other bees couldn't get to.
Caucasians?
Yeah.
Ooh, silence.
Yeah, I think that's what my game plan is going to be in the future.
I like that background Todd's got. That's nice.
Yeah, it is.
That was
Amazing how
that's
he painted his kitchen like the Sistine Chapel in there.
the highway's just to the left of that, and it's the highway that goes up to Yosemite. That's obviously called the Flag Barn, and some guy was sitting out there during a storm that came in a couple years ago and took that picture. The bigger picture, there's lightning that just spreads. It was, vertical or horizontal lightning, and it's pretty cool. So, yeah, I like that picture too.
Let's see. Trying to.
So you guys get to watch me cook tonight.
What are you cooking this evening?
Tonight is
Tomorrow I get to check my graphs that I did last Friday. I'll be pulling them. It's day number 9 tomorrow, so they should be capped. So I'll be pulling them and putting them in the incubator. I did 45 cells. I'm hoping to get 40 off of them. If I don't, I'm going to graft again, probably Thursday or Friday, depending. We're supposed to get rain tomorrow afternoon, Thursday and Friday, 3 days in a row. So I'll graft if I know it doesn't rain the whole time. So there's a couple hours in between storms. I'll graft again.
Lucky you, it's going to be 12 or 13 straight days of over 111.
Wow.
Sunday, it's going to be 114.
Yesterday it only got up to 79 degrees here.
Well, that was our low.
It's higher.
Today got up to 89.
114 is the hottest it's ever been here on record.
Yeah.
Let me.
The Canadians pushed some cold air down, and we had 1 day of it. And now the Southern boys, Joey and Bob's, pushing the hot air back up.
I seen 114 in Death Valley a few years ago, and I tell you what, I like to lost my breath. It almost took my breath away from me.
Yeah, it gets hotter.
Had about a 15-mile-an-hour wind blowing, and that 114
like a furnace.
Oh yeah.
So just for everybody who listens to me complain about humidity, it is right now. It is 104 outside and 20% humidity. It's hot. That's hot for here. This is a desert. I'm sure I'm melting wax in my bee yard. It's
You got
somewhere.
the lunar wax melter going right now?
My
Yeah.
lunar wax melter's kicked in. I got a couple nice bricks already. I need to.
All you need to do is throw it in a drum. You don't need a cover or anything, any kind of
I know.
Lexan or glass.
I've got a sheet of glass on it, but I bet I could cook an egg on it right now.
Yeah.
I've got 49% humidity right now.
We got 54. I just checked. So yeah, that's low for us. Still low. I think it all changes tomorrow. I think it's going up to 80% tomorrow and rain. Severe thunderstorm watch already out for 4 o'clock tomorrow.
This time of year is when you get those sneaky tornado storms up there, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. Well,
We
the
get
big
those,
ones usually happen in April.
we get those
The little,
sneaky tornadoes that come off the coast of Africa and come up through the Caribbean.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hurricane.
I haven't been through one of those.
Hey, our temperature's dropping. It's 86 and the humidity 73. So
86.
everything's dropping now that the sun went down.
Wow.
Yeah, we're
Clockwork 2
83.
degrees.
Huh?
Drop like 2-3 degrees. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, so tomorrow I'll be making somewhere between 35 and 40 splits from all the hives. I just shrunk down from 5 to 6 boxes down to 2 boxes. So they're bearding, there's bees all over my hives right now. Just because they don't have any room.
That's how mine are too.
But I'm going to take two to 3 frames of brood out of each one to make splits.
Trying to
And
make
that'll
some
help.
solstice
That'll
queen.
help with their numbers a little bit too. Take 20 to 30% of the bees out.
Surprised they really, my bees haven't been, at least today, they weren't really aggressive at all. They were.
Yeah. You know, I pulled those 6 more hives today. Five more hives. One of them I didn't do. And I only wore a veil. So I can't complain about that.
Most people I know do their splits around September. I don't know if anybody here that I know of does it in July.
Yeah, that's for you guys. If I did
Yeah.
mine at the end of September, we'd have frost in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
Like middle, second or third week of October, we get our first frost. So I think maybe the end of August, you better have queens already about ready to get mated for mating flights early September. So you can feed them for 6, 7 weeks.
I haven't put out too much feed yet this year.
I'm planning on leaving enough on mine. They at least get through to the fall flow, and then see what happens then.
Yeah.
When's your goldenrod and stuff start coming up over there?
We usually start seeing it a little late September, maybe.
What was that NASA? There was a NASA site that would show the pollination, or
I don't know.
NASA.
Man, I saw my bees bringing in fire engine red pollen today. And the only tree I know that puts out that fire engine red, that bright red, is the horse chestnut tree. So I guess I got some of those blooming somewhere around my area. I don't know if sumac, I don't know what color sumac puts out.
Our goldenrods by Honeybee net at nasa.gov. It's our goldenrod's supposed to start in July to November.
Wow.
You talking about just growing or blooming?
Yeah, well, I guess just
I'm
growing.
seeing it. Yeah, I'm seeing it growing now. I see it 3 or 4 foot tall out there now.
This says ordered by begin bloom month. So I guess it begins to bloom in July and it ends blooming in November.
Hmm.
And then strawberries start in December and end in May. Let's see. Then we got soybean. Looks like Joe Pie weed, sunflower. We don't have that many sunflowers. Loose strife, sweet pepper bush, bitter weeds, knotweed. Let's see.
All right, guys, I'm going to jump off for a minute. I got 10 boxes of honey to pour out of my yard. I got them all stacked up and sealed up so the bees can't get in them. And I was just waiting for all the bees to leave. So I'm going to go out there and bring them into the honey room.
Thank you, Morgan. I appreciate that, buddy.
Maybe I'll wait about maybe 5 or 10 more minutes. I'm going to hop off.
Let me see if I can see. I'll share this link and you can pick your place there, your zone, and it'll show you where what NASA says the forage zones are. And you can pick your state and all and region.
I think ours is mid to late August.
Let's see, Louisiana. Of course, this is the whole state of Louisiana. Man, you guys got a bunch going. Verbena or vervain, poison ivy, poison oak, rattan vine or supplejack, Dutch white clover, reverse clover, vetch, Yopon holly, supposed to finish. Well, it's probably finished. It says through June. Aster should go through November. Spanish needle, bitterweed, knotweed, Bermuda grass, boneset, sunflower, ragweed, clematis. It says your goldenrod starts in July too.
Now that's growing, right? Because I see it growing.
It says ordered by beginning bloom month, and it could be off a little bit, but and it says snow vine.
Changes from year to year, a week or two.
Let me see. And I guess if it's highlighted, it's significant, I guess, pollen in nectar.
We're supposed to get 2 inches of rain the next 3 days, so that'd be a blessing. That'll get the clover blooming again. So I plan to put a super back on all my hives after I do all my splits and treat. Well, I can put honey on my way I treat.
Let me see.
The 6 I'll do testing. I won't do that though. I'll just leave them as doubles.
That reminds me, Tom, I still need to get a hold of you.
I know. I'll call. Are you going to be around the 4th or the 5th?
Well, I'm gonna vacate the valley and go out to the coast to visit my mom, where it's going to be like 65 degrees.
Okay.
I'm going to leave Friday, but I could call Friday morning. Are you working Friday morning?
No, I took the day off.
All right.
Yeah, I'll talk to you Friday.
Yeah, I'll give you a call in the morning.
Okay, that's my afternoon almost.
Well, I'll call you like around 10 or 11 o'clock, because after that, I'm going to get the heck out of here.
Okay, that works perfect.
Okay. 10, 11 o'clock your time, obviously.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 8 o'clock your time, 8 or 9.
I'm up at 5, but
I called it too, like
talkative.
5:30 his time.
I used to have to call companies when I was still working in California, and it would mess me up. I always had to wait till after lunch to call somebody to get a hold of them over in California.
Yeah.
Well, Joey, I support all of North and South America in my job, technical support and consulting. So I run into that every day.
Yeah.
And I talk to a lot of people over in China, Russia, and Taiwan. And that really messes you up because Taiwan's a full 12 hours difference. So sometimes I go into work at really early in the morning. So I go in at 6:30. My morning is their 6:30 evening.
Yeah. It takes a little getting used to when you're talking to people all over the country like that.
I am trying to take every Friday off. Trying to work only about 30 to 35 hours a week till I retire.
There you
Leave
go.
a couple hours early every day. That's the only way I get all my beekeeping done.
Let's see.
If I quit keeping bees, I wouldn't have to do nothing but get up and mow grass about once a week. That's it.
Yeah. I got a disease. I got to be doing something. I can't sit still very well.
That's me. That's me. I stay busy doing something, even if it's just wasting time. I stay busy.
Yeah. I'll start a project or something. I still want to build a lean off my barn. And I wanted to build a lean 2 years ago.
I walked outside yesterday morning. That's just how messed up it can be. I walked out to go to the honey house. I remembered something I need to do. I walked across the yard to another shed to get something and saw something else I needed to do. And I walked back to the house to get something for that. I said, look where I am. I said, I done started 3 projects and I hadn't been out in the yard 10 minutes.
Right. All right. I'm going to jump off for 15 minutes and pull some honey in.
All right, man.
All right.
Is he jumping all the way out, or he just?
I guess
He's pausing, I think.
pausing.
Okay, well, I'll remove him till he comes back. And
So
we don't even see Todd. We just hear Todd.
So I'm making honey chipotle pork chops, and they gave me this crap. So I'm gonna use some of mine.
There you go. Real honey.
The ants wouldn't even eat that at the farm.
That's funny. They gave you one little thing of honey.
Yeah, they give you a little thing to drizzle on the chicken. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me?
What are you going to do?
The pork.
I'll sit back out of the way.
Throw it out of there.
That's funny.
Man, it's hot. I got the AC on. It's hot.
Mine's on. It's actually not doing bad at the moment, but it's like the house never gets cool enough. I mean, I finally went and got one of those 4x8 sheets of that like 3-inch foam, 2-inch foam, 3-inch foam.
Yeah.
And put it up over our whole house fan unit, right? That goes through the ceiling, and block that up. So that's stopping any heat from the attic from just coming down through there. So it made it a little bit better, but it's still crazy, the heat.
How well is your roof ventilated? You got vents on around you overhang?
No, I got 2 of those mushrooms, and only one of them's working. So I got one mushroom sucking the heat out of the attic that turns on. What's that?
The power vents.
Yeah, just the round one that comes up that looks like a mushroom. And when the temperature goes up in the attic, it turns on and sucks it out. Well, it's supposed to, but it's not strong enough to pull it all out. So it causes issues. So,
talk about the heat this time of year. I could probably turn my water heater off because the water coming out of the ground is hot.
Really?
You can forget about a cold shower. It's not going to happen this time of year. It ain't going to happen.
Huh.
Yeah.
well, there's Charlie. He's coming in. Maybe he's coming in. I don't know. I haven't seen his camera pop up yet.
Probably making a run to the microwave.
Here he is.
Hey,
Thought he was getting the bag of popcorn out.
nah, just got done eating.
I'm making me some pork chops, Charlie.
I had a cheeseburger here tonight.
So what's going on in Charlie's world?
Extracting honey. I worked till damn near midnight last night between honey and bottling. And hey, Mike, and Russell, Steve. Let's see. We pulled honey last week, I guess it was, and see, what day was that? I don't know. Anyway, it was before I got it done. I guess it was Saturday, Friday or Saturday. I guess it was Saturday. Yep. And that was the first pull, was like 11 boxes. And then we pulled the second pull here Sunday morning. It was hot, humid. Pulled 16 boxes off and got that in the house. And I finished that up today, actually. The mill's been super slow and the help took off this week. And so I finished that up midday today, or right after lunch, about 2:00 or so. And then we went out there. Me and the guy that's close to me came over around 4:30 or so, and we pulled the rest of the honey off the row of hives. A lot of them's nuke boxes, and I had like 3 10-frame boxes. I think if you equate them out to 10 frame, there's somewhere around 11 boxes, 10-frame boxes I got to go into. Time I got that done this evening and blowing the bees out and whatever, and it's like I am shot. I just could not.
How big is your extractor, Charlie?
It's 18 frames.
18. I like to pull I get about 3 spins. If I get more than that, I'm wore out time I get through. It just seems like you can't find the end to it.
Yeah. I see, how did I do that? I worked like last night. I worked up to about 10 o'clock. I was like you said, I'm like, well, I could just do 3 more spins tomorrow, which would be today, and I'm like, well, we can load it and go. And I went ahead and spun it till 10 o'clock last night and got that much done and cleaned things up and put everything away. And then I had my supply of honey was depleted on 2-pounders and 3-pounders. And so I went ahead and bottled up, I don't know, 20 some pounds of honey. Make sure I had something here for somebody as soon as I didn't do that, they'd all be in today.
Yeah, they all come in at the same time.
Right. So I went ahead and bottled up where I had 2-pounders and 3-pounders. And I did sell a couple ones today and a 3-pounder today. So
I sold 3 pounds today.
Yeah. So, like I say, I went out there today. I felt good during the day. Spun everything out, got everything out to where the bees were licking it clean. Put my solder wax melter out there, and I did a couple. I've been putting my queen excluders in there, let them melt all that stuff off of them, and got that up in place today and this morning. And then I had boxes I left out there last night. They had licked clean, so I put all that down in my basement in the freezers and was working on some of that, like there was some ice issues on the side of the freezers. I had to kind of chew that off. And anyway, one freezer's full and the other one's starting to get full. And there's boxes out there in the field now that they were cleaning. And so it's just kind of a lot. And then, like this afternoon after I got my honey pulled or honey spun, setting the truck up, getting all the lids and fume boards and getting the battery for the leaf blower and all that stuff. I'll tell you, everybody talks about those battery operated vaporizers, but I had a battery for that there Milwaukee little leaf blower. I drained that thing today, and I had to get another battery from the guy that was helping me. He carries a bunch of them because he's a carpenter to get, through the process. And I'm like, I'll take my generator and 110 vaporizer any day. It never runs out. I don't know. Hey, Catherine. But anyway, I'm very tired. That's for sure.
That seems to be the common thread for everybody. Same way, just tired.
I have just beat.
Tired.
Quit.
But I will have to say one thing. I kind of feel like Ian Stepler this year, where Ian, got hit hard last year with his bees dying and stuff. And he was like on a sinking ship, but he was able to get it to keep it afloat and buying bees from New Zealand, I think it was, and then getting queens from out there at what is it?
British Columbia.
Yeah, British. Yeah, I kept saying Columbia, British Columbia, and all that, and he, was able to kind of get back up on top of things and maybe not have a big crop, but enough that just was sustainable. And so, this year I went from, last year was 12 hives. I was going to go to 14 and I went to 16 hives. And, this spring I lost about 50% I lost 6 or 8 out of the 12 hives. I guess there was at least 6 hives. And I expanded, repopulated everything with nukes, requeened everything that was still alive. And I got right now in the buckets, I was hoping for, I did 1,000 pounds of honey last year. I was hoping if I could get 500 in my situation, I'd be happy. And right now I got 545 pounds of honey in the bucket. And I should be, with what's on the back porch now, I'm figuring somewhere between 600 to 700 pounds of honey. So that's a couple, let's say between 150 to 200 pounds more than what I was expecting. And it's, if I get 7, that's 300 pounds less than what I did last year, which for what I had to go through to, to keep things going, that's pretty darn good, I think. And on top of it, it rained right, when the locusts and the poplar trees were starting to bloom, just like Tom and all the rest of them out through the Midwest have talked about. Darn rain kept coming and coming and coming right in the middle of our major flow plants, trees and stuff. And I was surprised we got what we did because of that. So, hey, Shane, and all that. So that's where I'm at. Tired. I'm like, I was going to try to get something done tonight. And I'm like, I just can't go. I just physically can't do it. So I figured, well, tomorrow the green field behind us there is now a straw field, and we're going to be baling hay, or I'm not, but the guy that my son got, he's got one of these bundleizer machines that takes the square bales and puts them in a cube and ties them so you can pick them up with a front end loader. So I want to get out there and do some video work of that. I've got a video in the can here about the combining and stuff like that. So kind of do a little bit of some farming Ian Stifler videos in there, throw them in there along with the bees. But and then on top of all that, I've been going through all these 10 framers and nukes, and I'm looking at brood and population, and it's like, why didn't I see this before? Why didn't I make note of it mentally? It's like, I've got some really nice booming hives right now. I've got multiple frames of, whether it be deeps or mediums, completely laid out in, all 3 stages of brood and stuff like that. And I've got populations of bees that are good and strong and everything. And it's like, the thing about replacing your queens every 2 years is definitely that's a must. If you want to, get off the roller coaster ride of, a crappy hive versus a good hive, where you have an even keel of good hives all the time. That's a big eye opener for me this year.
How rude of me. I didn't jump on the chat when I joined. And so if anybody said hello and I didn't reply, I'm sorry. I started cooking as soon as I got home. So I apologize for that.
Yeah.
Now I'll start cooking again. I'll go back to muting. I don't know if pork chops are sizzling, so I gotta start.
Can't hear them.
I can almost smell them.
Can't hear them.
Yeah. So I'm gonna mute again.
All right.
Thank you there, Brian from Flower Street. I watched Brian. Did you see Brian's little short clip of that problem hive?
Yeah, the hive.
Yeah, it's got all those dead bees in front. Yeah, Brian's spinning honey now.
I've got a couple of them that seem to have more dead bees sitting out front than the other ones, and they still seem to be doing good. Very similar to that. I almost wonder if that's a hygienic trait. I don't know if they're just obviously the hive that he had right next to that hive was much bigger. But I wonder if that's just them calling out bees that
I got to thinking about what Bob Benning talked about his last video about field corn, where it's been treated through the seeds and all the neonics, which he's had no problems with. And then also he had a friend down there who talked about he had cotton, which was neonicked. And he said he'd never had any problems with that. Where he did have problems before they did that, they were spraying all the time. And then Bob was talking about if you've got sweet corn, of course, you're planting that. Usually you'll plant so many rows and then wait 2 weeks and plant so many more rows and wait another 2 weeks. So you keep having fresh crops of sweet corn coming in when you have a roadside stand or a store or something. And that you probably spray a little more pesticide type stuff or fungicides, I guess. But he said that is more detrimental to his bees, where he had to move that yard.
So why would it be that that one colony was on that, and then the colony right next to it was fine.
Well, that's what I got. First, I got to thinking about it that way, and I said, "Well, wait a minute. If that colony's sick, but the other one isn't, then it wouldn't be something in that scenario and all. But it would have to be something within the hive. It, it just
It could be old comb too that might have pesticide in it. You never know.
yeah. Well, I mean, the brood all looks good, but I don't know whether they're pulling out mites or.
Well, what I'm talking about is, they'll store pollen obviously in the comb, but when it gets old and sits there, it might be tainted, and then the nurse bees feed it to the larva, and then when they hatch, they're not healthy. So,
Well, Brian,
full brood out if the growth goes down too.
His comment there was hygienic behavior occurs to the larvae. The colony brood looked fine, but the adults were they were the ones who were dead.
yeah.
There's something going wrong with the adult bees.
I mean, it could be something as simple as a neighbor spraying Roundup a year ago, and he used the comb that they stored pollen in, and then it just, it takes a while to kill them off after they hatch. I don't know.
I had that happen one time in one of my outyards. A guy sprayed those the yellow flowers in the field. I don't forget what you call them.
Dandelions.
He didn't want to cut them down. He didn't want to bush hog or anything, so he just sprayed them. And I lost 4 colonies. No dead bees right around the hive. They just wasn't there. It's like they didn't make it back or whatever. But we figured that was what happened, because after I told the landowner about it, he got to checking and he found out that guy had sprayed about 2 or 3 days earlier, several acres. And that what'd you call it? That yellow flower?
Dandelions?
Yeah, dandelions. It's growing up in a clover field. So who would have thunk somebody would have sprayed it?
Yeah, it's I don't think they see Morris Homestead said his neighbor sprayed, I don't even know how to say it, Acinel XL.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Acinel on his field corn. I'm hoping his bees will be okay. Yep. Astana. Okay. Yeah, I mean, they definitely spray a bunch on stuff. So luckily this year so far, I haven't had many issues with that. You see.
Silence again.
What's that?
Silence again.
Yeah. I'm just trying to read the comments as they come in. There's a lot of them coming in. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get back to sitting out on the street, I guess, selling honey. Try to do that. Let's see. Super DFM. Yeah, I mean, that's what one of them is supposed to be for anti-pesticide stuff, right? But I don't know how you can tell if it, I guess if your bees live, you could say it worked. But yeah, I've got honey I got to spin out. Might be cooler just to go out at night and do it overnight.
Ooh, I bet that'd be fun.
Turn on the porch light and go to town. 'Cause- and then in the morning, go out and take the extracted boxes out so the bees can go crazy on them.
Be sure to video that.
Well, I've got the honey already in the honey house, so should be all right, I think.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's supposed to be in the high 90s the rest of the week. Which, you know, that's what they, I don't know. To me, if it feels like temperature is 105, it's 105 degrees outside. I don't care what my thermometer says. If it feels like 105, it's 105. It don't matter what the thermometer says it's 30 below, but it feels like 115, it's 115 in my book. So it's supposed to be pretty warm. Let me see.
I usually try to be done pulling honey by July 4th, but I'm going to be a week or two past that this time because I'm not getting out there and pulling a bunch. I just get a little bit at a time and get back in the air conditioner.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing.
I mean, got 1,100 pounds sitting in the shed. Why do I want to get out there and get hot and pull more?
I've got not including the box that I pulled, I've got 240 pounds still in buckets. I've got, I don't know, maybe another 5 gallons in my bottling tank. Now I've got 12 gallons in the creamer, 12 or 13. And I've got another 5 gallons of hot honey in there. So I've got honey just in stages of being ready to be bottled. He's hot and sweaty again, Tom. So just trying to get it done. I only have a little bit more to do as far as pulling honey, though. So once that's done, should be good to go. Won't have to worry about it anymore. Charlie, you're kind of tired looking, man, like you're about to fall asleep on us.
I was reading up on that stuff, that insecticide. It's for corn, or it can be anything: corn, cotton, peanuts, soybeans. It kills cutworm and corn borers and corn earworm, worm. You know, a bunch of different. It's a pesticide for sure. I'm not sure about bees, but I don't, you know, if it's, I don't know. I don't think the bees are going to go after corn.
Well, I've seen them after the dust in my chicken feeder bowls when there's no pollen.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Of course, my last chicken died this weekend. My sole rooster is gone now. So I think I might just take down the chicken coop and get rid of that and free up some space in the yard that I can run my mower through. It's probably the most fertile ground on my whole property right there. Should just make a chicken shit garden and just grow something right there. Todd's muted still.
Yep. Still muted.
Yeah, what's Shane saying? I just caught that.
Do what?
Shane said something like, we did, but your stomach was in the way. I don't know. Oh, I know what he's talking about. My comment that I said, you know, I didn't say hello in the comments like I always do. And yeah.
Because you got cooking.
Yeah. You can probably hear the fan going. Getting a little smoky in here. I got to get back to it.
Well, maybe we cut it short tonight.
So anyway, that's what's happening here. Like I say, I'll be glad when all the honey's in the bucket. But my hives are looking good. Now I got to go through these nukes and see if they're too good. You know what I'm saying? Kind of pull them back a little bit. But I did.
Anybody keeping score at home? I'm going away from the honey chipotle. I just decided I'm gonna make a gravy. So I've got potatoes and broccoli in the oven. So I'm gonna make gravy with the.
Are you gonna put some gravy with a little bit of flour in there and stir it
I
up?
think you should have made a hot honey glaze. Go on there.
I don't have any hot honey.
Should have just made some.
So how is the creamer machine working, Bob?
Well, I think it would be working better if it was cooler in my house, right? I started it right before everything went off the rails temperature-wise outside. So it is creaming. It just seems to be creaming slower than I would have thought it would have. But then again, when it's 78 degrees in the house, it's going to cream slower, you know. And that's just thing. But it is working. I mean, it's working good. I could probably pull some out and flavor it and move it out to the cooler out there, the refrigerator on the porch, and get it set up good.
So is your air conditioner?
It's a heat pump. So heat pump will only, it's only going to change 20 degrees, right? So if it's 105 outside,
Air conditioner ran backwards. That's all.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It'll only do like 20 degrees difference from the ambient temperature outside. So if it's 105, it's only going to get 85 in here. That's just what's going to happen. So what we try to do is when the temperature drops overnight, we get the house so cold you can't stand it. And then hopefully it stays cool for most of the day till the temperature starts dropping again.
But my air conditioner is a heat pump. It's 70 degrees in the house.
Well, when was your house built?
I completed it at around 94.
This completed it in 1960, this house.
So yeah, but how old the question is not how old the house is. Depending on
put in last year. I put a new AC on it last year.
So
and it was more efficient and bigger than the one that they took out, and it still won't do it.
Something ain't right.
Something ain't right.
Because the heat,
that thing.
I think what it is I need to replace the other fan on the other side of the house, the other mushroom on the roof, right? So it's sucking the heat out better because it just doesn't get the heat out of the attic. It's been an issue for years here. And
but what kind of insulation you got?
Probably either need to cut vents on your gables or either get somebody to put
those ridge caps,
ridge vent on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I tell you what, you can't beat that. All that heat just sucks right out.
The ridge vent.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think those are that expensive, but you just cut a channel down your roof on the top.
Yeah.
On both sides, and you nail those on top, and lets it out. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to do something. I'm scared what my electric bill is going to be next month. When my electric bill comes, it's going to be bad times. Real bad times. Last year was like, this time of year was like $800. So
for 1 month?
For 1 month. 1 month, Charlie.
Holy.
So think about your house that you're in was built about the same time this house was built, right? 60s.
Yeah, 58 or something like that.
Okay, so I mean, basically the same construction stuff going on there. Difference is,
but in the thing of it is, over the years we had insulation blown in the top.
It's got some blown insulation up there, but it's old, right? It's just like settle down. I wish I could afford to spray foam insulate the whole damn place. Don't do it.
I wouldn't do that. I do know one thing, and it was on 60 Minutes, and I know a person here locally. They had that stuff in there, and the kids and everybody were always sick. And it turned
Really?
out to be it was formaldehyde gassing off, and they had to move out of that house and completely rip that house apart to remove all that crap.
Well, I know the walls aren't insulated. The matter of fact, like in the bathrooms, that the tile that's on the wall, they just hung a metal mesh up on the wall and grouted it and stuck tiles to it, and then plastered the rest of it. So it's
I mean, that's an interior wall. You wouldn't insulate that.
no, I mean, even the exterior walls right here, the one right here, they're the same way though.
So no outside walls are insulated?
I doubt it. I really doubt it. I did put insulation in the floor last year, underneath the house. I mean, it's better than it was, but it's not good. I'm following what Joey's putting down up there about the ridge vent. It's not hard to do. You just got to cut it, right?
Yeah.
And then nail those in.
We used to do them a lot. We'd rip it down through there and put that ridge cap on and then cover it back up.
I think it's only like 2 inches too, isn't it? That's what the seam is. It's like 2 or 3 inches.
Yeah, it's not much. It's not much.
I had that ridge cap, and then the darn snow would blow in, and then they redid it again. But of course, they had something better at that time, more like a foam or something in there. I forget what it was.
Does the eave of your house? Do you have ventilation around the eave of your house? The overhang?
Mm-mm. Well,
that
some of
might
those
be-
little metal vent things,
Yeah.
covers. That's about it.
I've seen a couple of circumstances over the years where they had them but didn't have enough of them, and we went in between all of them and cut more in, and that alone made a big difference. It let that attic breathe better.
That might be an option too. I mean, that's easy, right?
If you think about it, no more is going to vent out the top than can come in the bottom somewhere.
Right. Well, right now I only have the one. What is it? How big are those things? Like 4, maybe 6 inches. Those mushroom things on top, the little vent.
Yeah.
That's about all I've got up there, and it's hot.
And
It's hot.
that attic fan you were talking about, I have actually seen a good roof vent pull air through that attic vent it pull your cool air out that.
Yeah, I just put
If
put
it goes
that.
out that means it's having to suck air through the windows somewhere or the doors from the outside just to get through there.
So
Cover that thing. If you don't use it, cover that thing up, top and bottom.
well, the top has like a damn cage over it with the motor and the fan, and
Put a big, what do you call it? Blanket that the movers use, a mover's blanket on there.
but there's a lot of stuff wrong with this place. But I mean, it is what it is. So I've just gotta. I'm about sick of my bees right now. It's crazy hot here. I'm about to sell a few of my nukes. If I don't, no biggie. I'll just overwinter them. What I should do, I should sell all my nukes right now.
So Brian, you live in Birmingham, huh?
If anybody's looking for wax moth cocoons, I've got plenty. So I'll give you a good deal on them.
On wax moss.
Yeah. They're bad.
Just harvest them as live chicken bait.
I know. There used to be chickens out on the farm. They got rid of them. So that's probably why I have more wax moth now.
Kilby there, they're from up in Newfoundland. They're still waiting to get summer.
Well, I mean, Brad should be starting a honey flow. I haven't seen any videos from Ian, but I think they're in the flow now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Averaging mid 90s. We're averaging high 90s. Around here right now. Today wasn't bad though. I mean, it was actually decent outside. And
Brian was down there. I was down there in Birmingham, what, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago? It was just before the humidity was going to come in. It was rainy that weekend too.
my cat just decided to walk in and look at me now that my grandson's not here. The cat's coming back.
Yeah, we were at some kind of, I forget what the darn campground name was. Kind of on the.
Well, I know that the heat in the attic was an issue a few years ago, because 6 years ago, when we moved in here, you could see about this far down in the hallway and all the rooms was mold from where the AC was coming up, but the hot air was leaching out of the attic because there was nothing sucking it out. And it was condensating it, and moisture was being created around the deal.
That definitely tells you there's a ventilation problem.
Well, then when I fixed that one, that problem went away, but it still has heat coming down. It's just, I mean, it's pretty bad. So,
I do know people have those fans in the eaves where they come on at 100 and some degrees.
That's what. Well, I think I've got mine set lower than that to try to suck out more. But mine's not in the eaves. Mine's up on the roof. It actually is supposed to suck it out of there, but I don't know that it's working. What? Cat going crazy. But anyway, guys, I think we're going to call it a little bit short tonight.
Okay.
Let me see. DC says spring has been cooler, but I guess I don't know if Ricky's got one Thursday night. I guess the stream team's got Randy Oliver over there tomorrow. At least he was supposed to be there several weeks ago, and that didn't happen. And now he's supposed to be there tomorrow, so maybe it'll happen. And Friday on Charlie's, Sunday on Tim and Hannah's channel over there. So got a whole week lineup coming up. And
2 days of sun last month. I don't think I can handle living there.
2 days of sun. We had like 2 evenings of rain here. That was it. But when it came down hard the other night.
Yeah, we've had a couple, I'll say on the radar, little bands of rain that just happened to hit Sunday evening here, which has been good because we've been super dry.
Yeah, and everybody have a good 4th of July. I forgot that's coming up this week.
Yeah, it's supposed to rain here those Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I think it is, something like that. That'll maybe give me enough time to rest up and start spinning honey on the 4th. Get that done.
Well, Link says it's raining right now where they're at. So, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate all of you. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the live stream. And, Morgan, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it. Might actually get a payout this month. Hopefully, things continue. And we'll talk to you guys on the next stream. Thanks.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Good night.